Hello. Welcome to this live stream. If you're hearing this first part, you're watching the replay. Thank you for being here. You're welcome to play along. And yeah, let's just see what the collective messages are that are meant to come today. So let's see here. Let me make sure all of my ducks are in a row. Quackity quack. I don't know why that's even a saying, because ducks aren't in a row. At least we don't wait for them to be. All right, so I was drawn to play with a deck I haven't played with in a while. It's the Angel Tarot deck, Radley Valentine. I've actually got the original Radley and the one who shall not be named because they are no longer associated with this kind of thing. It is what it is. So the reason I liked this deck so much, for one, is the image on the card, on the back of the card, is only one direction. So you know when it's upside down or in reverse. And on the card itself, you get some words there that kind of give you a hint on what's going on. This deck was instrumental in helping me understand what the meanings were because it had that little prompt on there. Now, the great thing about having these kind of decks, and I know there's more of a Rider-Waite version of it that has little notes all over it. It's great when you're first learning. However, when you want to stretch yourself and test yourself a little bit, using those decks, it's too tempting to look at the meanings first before actually looking at the image and seeing what you're drawn to, because that's how intuitive tarot works, at least the way I do it. And so when you're ready to start testing yourself, I recommend you use a different deck or find a way to not look at what the meanings actually say. And with this deck, it's great because I can just kind of cover the bottom, and that was helpful for me. But the imagery in them itself, like, it's very rich and vivid, and there's colors, and there's so many symbolistic things that you can look at and notice instantly, and that can be the hint you need to discover what the meaning of the card, or the meaning of the message from the card. See, that's the thing where people get stuck in learning the meanings of the cards, because the message will come through differently depending on what the question or the query is. So getting too stuck in memorizing things isn't allowing you to embody things. See, there's a difference between remembering the basics and memorizing, word for word, because you're not really living it. You're just memorizing it. We've all seen those kids that are up there on stage, and they're, primary students. They're so cute, and everyone oohs and ahs, and it is cute. And when they're saying what they're saying, they're not saying it through the emotion and feeling and the understanding of what they're saying. They're saying it because their brain remembered it in a specific way. And if they forget or stop part way, notice how they have to go back to the very beginning and say it again in order to pick up where they left off. So it's a great way to begin. But if you want to embody tarot into your life, into doing it in a way that works for you, it's a tool, it's a toy for you to play with, then you need to go beyond just memorizing things. So, and I know there's some people who comment and they push back on that, and they give me long posts explaining things and saying how wrong I am. And hey, kudos to you. Those comments are helpful as engagement, and we're all entitled to our own opinions. I'm just doing what works for me. And I'm not saying do what I do. I'm saying be like I am, in the way of just exploring what works for you. And you won't know what that is until you kind of experiment a little bit, right? So yes, there are some basic things for each card in the tarot deck that have the understanding of the meaning, but when you get into the actual pulling cards and coming up with what the message is. See, there's a difference between a message and a meaning in my mind. I get a little literal at some of these things. So you're saying, okay, Lorraine, you've been shuffling. Pull a card already. All right, so let's pull a card and just see what the collective energy is coming up right now. I like to pull or shuffle until a card just kind of presents itself. And I think this top one here. So let's see. We have the Hermit. And in this deck, it's associated with Archangel Raziel. And I'll read that because it's kind of blurry for you. And it says, spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. Now, see how helpful that is to know that, and that's how you learn what the Hermit energy is about. Now, when I first looked at this card, I was instantly drawn to the planetary body there, and it's not the moon. It doesn't look like any planet that I know of, but the energy is of Earth to me. And there's even another planet as I'm exploring a little more, and it's got rings similar to what Saturn is. To me, this card is saying when you take enough time to stop and be with yourself and your energy, you're going to discover more than what you maybe planned for. And it's in those moments of stillness. It can be sometimes uncomfortable because we're not used to it. We're in a noisy world now. We have 5 minutes to ourselves. We don't just sit there. We grab our phones, we scroll, we do whatever, we check emails, we stay productive or busy. When this card is actually saying, this is the time when you can quiet down, you're going to discover things you didn't even plan on discovering. And having that quiet, that silence, however it looks for you, is the key to really unplugging and giving your spirituality time to grow and time to understand yourself without all the needing to hurry and needing to come up with solutions, come up with action plans. You know, there's this meme that I put out on my personal page that was like, had this Barbie, and she was, you know, how little kids draw different things on the poor Barbie. But the caption was something like, you know, you spent all weekend, you know, cleaning this and doing that, you know, just so you can have time off from work, you know, and you end up finishing the weekend more exhausted than when you started. So something like that. But so it's super important that we all have that. Now, here's the thing. The Hermit, just the word hermit, people instantly think, you know, especially us introverts, oh, you know, you're not putting yourself out there, right? But there's a time and a place to do that. There's energy that goes toward putting yourself out there. And maybe for some of you, this card is saying, yeah, you've got some stuff, you've got some busy time coming up. So it's really good to sit back and take some moments to just let your energy kind of come back to yourself, whether that's through conscious breathing or meditation, spending time in nature, doing something you love, playing with your kids or your pets. You know, that kind of brings you back to center so that your energy is realigned again and you're able to go and do the things that you're meant to do. That's super important. So one of the common questions I get asked a lot for people who want to learn and play tarot for themselves is, what did I write? So do I have to read reversals? And here's what I love about this deck, because it shows you, you know, when you have the whole deck, you can tell when one is upside down. Here's the thing. I'm a little OCD when it comes to stuff. I like having my cards all in the same direction. So when I get a reversal, that's a rare thing. Either that or I shuffled those cards back in the wrong way. How many countless times that's happened, I can't even begin to imagine. But for me personally, I just didn't read reversals for a long time. The main reason was trying to memorize all these cards. And now you want me to memorize another set that goes with that deck? So it wasn't until I stopped memorizing cards and started just going with what I intuitively picked up and understood, especially with this Angel Tarot deck, is you get the actual gist of what the message is about. And it has a really good, rich booklet that goes along with it. And I think with this one too, it comes with the Big Book of Tarot, I think it's called. You can buy it separately. That goes into way more detail. So that's a way you can study tarot. But at the same time, it's so much better to actually experience it than just study it. So going back to the question about reversals, what do you feel comfortable with? Yeah, I know a number of readers that I follow online do not read reversals because they read intuitively, like myself. So even a card that comes face up like this might have some shadow aspects to it, or negative energy or whatever you want to call it. So using that, no matter whether it shows up as reverse or not. But one thing that I've developed over time, and this is the great thing about when you learn and play with tarot, is you tend to develop your own way, or you can change. Maybe it's like, hey, yeah, maybe I am going to read this as a reversal today if a reversal comes up. So it's totally up to you. Don't get caught up in it. If you do come across one that is in the reverse position, that might just be a heads up to, hey, pay attention to this card a little bit more. And then just notice what you notice in the card. Notice what you see on the card. Notice how it makes you feel. Notice what little message starts popping up. Now, I know with someone who's new, you're going to question what you pick up every time. Trust me, I've done it. It's okay. But take note, because you're reading that message in a way you're meant to read it. And this works great, especially if you're reading for yourself, because you know yourself the best. Sometimes that can be a hindrance if you're asking a specific question and you want the answer to be yes, you're going to look for yes. I'm thinking more of like the journaling type questions you might do for yourself with tarot. And if you pay attention to what you're picking up, you're going to start understanding how you relate to the imagery and to the symbols that come up. That's an important aspect of how I use tarot. Because initially, I use tarot for myself, my own self-development, personal development, ways to journal on things and noodle on whatever issue or question or circumstance that I want a little insight on. That to me is tarot is the perfect personal tool for that. I just got to move the fan a little more. It's like it wants to be cooler, but it's not. Let's try. I don't live in the tropics, but man, when it gets warm, it gets warm. All right, so let's pull another card. We're going to leave that Hermit out, and I'm going to pull another one from this Angel deck, and then we're going to use my favorite because I've upgraded. I shouldn't say upgraded. This is a great deck. But after a while, I realized that I didn't want all the messages at the bottom, especially once I started doing, Facebook Lives and stuff like that. People, or doing readings for people, they'd always be drawn to what does the card say. But I noticed that the message that I was coming up with didn't always align with what the message said. And hey, it didn't mean that I was reading it wrong, because I started to gain confidence in the message flowing through me based on what the printed ink said on this cardboard thing that's a tool. So we don't want to take tarot too seriously, right? So here's one more. Knight of Earth. Oh, I love that. Notice I covered it. Sorry, it's blurry. It's this wonderful Logitech camera I'm using right now. So, and even at the top, it gives you a little more information as well. So it says loyal, dedicated, honorable, kind. That's another thing about this deck as well. It doesn't use the suit names like pentacles, which this is. It says earth, which is telling you what the element is. So earth has a lot to do with your physical environment, how you relate to it, resources, and things like that. So what I pick up from this, especially as it relates to the Hermit card, is I'm drawn to the purple up top here. So this is going to be specific for somebody. It's like you're trying to set up a place so you feel more comfortable and aligned, and you can be inspired to do the work you need to do. And this to me is honoring your own expertise and giving yourself that space around you, that physical space, putting plants somewhere, having a crystal there, creating this space as sacred so that you always feel uplifted and abundant and nurtured in that space. That's what I pick up from that. And you're like, Lorraine, what does it say on the bottom? Okay, I'll tell you. It says, time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. And then it says, a guardian angel. So take any of that the way you need to take it. I'm going to put those aside. And this deck, which you know, if you follow me at all, you see me use a lot, the Light Seer Tarot. This deck really opened up things in a whole different way for me when I was learning, because I just love the imagery on it. I resonated with it. So when you can find a deck that you feel that with, and I can't say it was instant, but I did like, you know, because I like things that are colorful. We all like our own style, right? So when you find something like that, that you're connecting with it. So go for it. If you've got the money to pay to buy it, go for it. So let's pull a card from this deck. If I can shuffle. Top card. We have the Ten of Wands. This looks totally different than the Ten of Wands in the regular Rider-Waite tarot, where the guy has all the wands on his back and he's facing away from you, walking toward, and he's trudging along. I like the energy of the Light Seer Tarot by Chris Ann, because it's showing you that there is a lighter way, and we'll see males or females on the image, and that to me can be what am I trying to say? The energy, so a feminine energy. So she is ready to walk away. Notice how this is just what I'm picking up right now. I don't always notice how her skirt is flowing out in front of her. To me, that's the wind. And even her hair is blowing forward as if the wind's at her back. And they say when the wind's at your back, it's pushing you along. It's supporting you to keep moving forward. And she's letting go of some of the wands. They're lit on fire like torches, and that could be symbolic. Don't burn your bridge. But so to me, it's just showing you that it's time to just put things aside, let things go that aren't serving your energy, and move forward to the next thing. And I'm also picking up that it can feel like all or nothing. So you have to determine if the risk is worth it. That's what I pick up from that. Let's pull another one. And again, this is a collective reading. So whatever resonates with you is all you need to know. Okay, well, that's way too many. Come on, Spirit. I don't need that many. We'll be here all day. I've got my Tarot Cafe membership at the top of the hour, so I can't stay here too long. So we have the Seven of Pentacles next. This is showing you that if you feel frustrated with what you're trying to develop and grow, and you're not seeing the fruits of your labor, or you are, but it's not fast enough, this is trusting that things are happening behind the scenes, and you can't always see how everything is meant to come together. You're just meant to keep holding the faith, keep doing the things that you need to do, keep trusting that things are going to work out. But that doesn't mean to be doing it passively. It means putting the energy where you need to. And notice in his hand, he has what I see as rays of energy, and he's putting good thoughts and good energy into what he's creating, what he's trying to grow. He can't see down here. That's just for us, the viewers, seeing that cross section of all of the things that are starting to root down and bloom and grow. And it's just a matter of time before more of it's going to come to fruition. So you have to come from a place of trusting and honoring the cycles of things, right? And I'm going to pull one more. And if anyone is here live who would like a reading, just pop it in the comment. Let's see here. Oh, this one. Three of Swords. I've said it in other videos where this one feels harder than the regular Rider-Waite. You don't see a person in it. This one you do. And she can either be kind of screaming out in anguish, or she could be sighing in relief that finally this healing is taking place. There are stitches. And again, with this camera that doesn't want to, I'm right in the center of it, and it's still making everything else around me sharper. But anywho, hi, Nettie. Yes, I'll pull you a card in just a second, okay? Hang on. Hang tough. So with this three, and Nettie, this is for you too, if collectively, if this makes sense. And then the card I pull for you might bring it all together. So this Three of Swords is reminding us that swords is about intellect, thoughts, and belief. It's not about emotion. People forget that with this card because there's a big old heart on there, that heart on there that makes us think, oh, it's heartache, which it can be, but sometimes it's the thoughts that cause us to feel disconnected or cause us to feel hurt. Our feelings are hurt. It doesn't always mean romantic and this and that. It's our feelings are hurt. So this is the opportunity to use those thoughts to begin to heal, to start trusting. Okay. You're welcome. Well, thanks for being here. It's nice to have someone live, a live, warm body to work with. Okay, so let me ask you, and I'll pull a card. Do you have a specific question? You don't have to. That's totally good too. Just let me know, or just think about it. If you don't want the whole world to know what it is, this is between you and tarot. So let me just tune into the energy. Let's see what comes up. Ooh, that one kind of jumped out. You must have just come up with something in your mind. I love reading. Okay. So we have the Two of Wands here. What comes to me is wistful thinking. But I'm always about empowering people, which I love that. So to me, this is like, you've got to determine, what do you want? Now, I don't know if you're in a relationship now or if you're looking for one, but it doesn't matter. Either way, it's like, what do you want? And I recommend you even write some things down. What are some things you would love to have as attributes in a person? What are you looking for in a person? How do you want to feel when you're in a relationship with this person? What can you overlook and do without? What is something that is important and a deal breaker as far as relationships concerned? When you start, like, even if you don't write it down, if you start thinking about these things, you start deciding that, hey, this is what I want. This is kind of, I can do without it or not. But it's giving yourself time to kind of prepare how you want things to go for yourself. I want to pull you another one. Go along with that, since you're brave enough to ask. Come on now. Cards aren't being very... Okay, there we go. Ooh, another wand. So it's time to take some action. Maybe there's someone you had your eye on, or there's something you want to take to the next level. Even if it's you putting yourself out there a little bit more, it's letting go of the things that have kept you stuck before. Remember, your past relationships have nothing to do with your future relationships. We bring that baggage along with us. And it's so interesting that I put it back in the deck, but that 3 of Swords, if I incorporate that in this reading for you, which, and I did say to you, it could have something to do with your reading. It's like we can't bring our past heartaches and issues into a new relationship. So to me, it's important to deal with those things. And like I said, the best way to deal with them is just to start preparing and thinking about, what do you really, really want in your relationship, whether it's one you have now or one you want to have, and the one that you're searching for. Because ultimately, we can't do anything for anyone outside of ourselves. We can't influence anyone else outside of ourselves. All we can do is influence ourselves, take action for ourselves. That's the most important thing. Love yourself first. So it's coming from within. It's the actions you take and basing it on doing it for yourself, not doing it to get that person or to get love. It's coming back to yourself, feeling grounded and centered and happy where you are. And I always find that when we're happiest where we are and we're content with what we have, that's when we end up meeting someone or finding that connection, instead of it being, oh, I really want to meet somebody. And it's just different vibration and different energy. I hope that makes sense for you, Nettie. Thank you for asking your question. All right. If there's someone else before I take off, let me know. I've got to get ready for my Tarot Cafe membership, people. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I'm committed to coming on every Tuesday in the morning Pacific time. Right now it's almost 10:30 Pacific time. I don't know what time it is where you are. You're very welcome. Take care. Thanks for being here. And yeah, we'll see you next week. And I do have some other videos coming out. Tonight I have Aries, Taurus, and Gemini coming out. I've got some angel card. Let's end with a little angel card reading. So I have to record the rest of those. So I'll be doing some more recordings today. Ooh, we got harmony. I love it. So find someone, something, do something wonderful for yourself that makes you feel in harmony. All right. Oh, Francis, hi. Oh, thank you. Did you see the angel tarot that I had? This is one of the first. You have to watch the first part of this when it's finished rendering the live. But that's the back of the cards. This is Radley Valentine, and ooh, we pulled a 4 of water. The camera isn't the best, but it shows a mermaid, and there's four cups. What I like to do is cover, because this one actually tells you a little about it. So it says missing an opportunity, and this is 4 of cups. Missing, or see, 4 of water, but it's cups. So it's kind of nice. He writes it as what the element is. Missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. And it's interesting because I'm really drawn to this dolphin that's in the background. You can barely see him. He looks like this dark blob. It's careful what you focus on. I don't know, maybe I don't know if you're still here, Nettie, but that might be part of your reading too. maybe not so much be careful what you focus on, but be aware of what you're focused on. So if your energy is kind of running a little low, it's like, where can I shift my thoughts, my surroundings? What can I shift around me? Can I bring something, you know, in that's going to shift the energy? If you have crystals, that's always fun. Let me know if you want me to incorporate crystals in some readings. I'd love to do that too. So, oh, good. So I hope that made sense for you. Thanks. Thanks for being here. And that's it. I'll let you guys go. Go, pour yourself a cup of tea or something and chill out. Or maybe it's the beginning of your day too. I don't know where in the world you are, but I wish you a wonderful day. And thank you so much for watching live. And those of you who are going to watch the replay, have a super week. We'll see you next week live. Peace. I hope you watch the videos when they come out soon. Talk to you soon. Bye.